like other kids would since I was
I'm
old
live.
enough.
I can go live all I
Dad
want.
looked though.
I can go
She
live
thought
all I
Sasha
want.
wasn't in front of them. I extended my
Go live
hand
all I
for a
want.
handshake, but
Go ahead,
Sasha
say mean
pulled it
things.
in for a hug. Her perfume clouded my nostrils. We're going to be best buddies, Julia, she said, her voice sounding so high-pitched.
Wow.
I winced and smiled back.
3 people
I
in here
told
so
my
far.
dad I was happy for him and welcomed
Start
her
saying
to the
stuff.
family. She moved in with us barely 2 weeks later. They had a
There they
court
go.
wedding the week before and went on
No.
a honeymoon in Rio.
I'm
My
not.
dad stayed at home for 1 more week, saying that he was his own boss and deserved time with his new wife. I thought Sasha liked my dad, though. I didn't think she liked me. She
No, he
would laugh
doesn't.
at my dad's boring jokes and find a reason to constantly touch him. If I was with them, her smile would seem a little forced, and it appeared like she was trying to show my dad she wanted
No, I'm
to be
not
on
getting
good
off social
terms
media.
with me. My dad trusted her a lot.
Not getting off
and was
social
head
media.
over heels in love with her. My dad went back to work. His own company opened the door for her and asked her if she needed anything. Her arms were crossed, and she was looking at
Oh,
me
shut
with
up.
distaste in her
Just
expression.
ignore it.
How old are you, Julia? She asked. I was frowning when I told her that I was 20 years old, wondering where the conversation was going.
God.
Don't you
No,
think
I'm not getting
you
off
should
social
have
media.
moved out of your father's house by now? I stared at her for a few seconds as I replayed what she said in my head. Was she chasing me out of my own father's house? Before I could reply, she told me that she understood that I wanted to stay with my dad so I could take care of him and reduce his loneliness. She said that she was with him now and there was no need for me to remain with him.
So ridiculous.
He has me as his wife now. You're no longer needed, she emphasized. Her words were hurtful, but I refused to let her see it. I smiled and told her I'd heard her. I knew I couldn't tell my dad. He would either not believe me or worse, take her side. It was something I had to deal with on my own. We had 2 cars, mine and Dad's. Sasha complained to my dad that she needed my car so she could move in the city without stress. My dad
Can't make the
asked me
phone
to
ring.
give her the keys, promising to get me another
No, I'm not
car
getting
soon.
off social media.
Sasha looked at me with a smug smile, and I felt crushed within. I started to take the bus to college, and it was a downgrade from how I used to go to school. I told myself that I could cope with it and put on my
Stupid.
brave face. I've made Sasha a shareholder.
This has
in the
got to stop.
company, my dad said over
Get
dinner.
off social media.
I swallowed
Yeah, you're
a
so
mouthful
full.
of
You get off.
spaghetti and
Get off my
asked,
chat box.
What? I refused.
Can't do
look
that
at
to me.
Sasha because I knew she would have
Says
a
for
triumphant
Brockstead.
look on her face. Yes, my darling. My dad reached over and squeezed Sasha's hand. She now owns 15%. 15% was a lot in my dad's company, just a little lower than my 20%. I looked at my dad's happy face and forced
Crazy
out a
people.
smile. I went downstairs to the laundry room to wash my clothes that I dropped there the night before. I eyed a basket of pale yellow clothes, thinking it looked like it contained my clothes. Upon going through it, I realized they were my clothes. Someone had washed my clothes without separating the colors. A yellow sweater had been washed with the whites, and I knew it was deliberate. I marched upstairs to confront Sasha. She had an evil smile on her face as she
Shut
told
up.
me that it was unintentional. I had to try to keep my anger in check. She was obviously lying, but I couldn't do anything about it. The next day, I found out that all my favorite cereals had been thrown out. Sasha claimed that they were all expired. We both knew they weren't, but my dad
Not a sicko.
believed her completely. What broke my resolve not to get frustrated was when I discovered
So
I got
stupid.
blocked from my dad's data plan. I had an assignment to submit, and I needed an internet connection desperately. I had to haul a cab back to school so I could use Wi-Fi. I got home around 8 in the evening, drained. I planned to just crash on my bed and go to sleep. When I got to my room, I had to rub my eyes because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All my clothes were strewn on the floor, my bed, and some were hanging crookedly off the hangers. Even my underwear wasn't spared. My shoes were off the rack and were lying around. That
No.
Bitch, I cursed. The following day, I searched for an apartment and told my dad I was moving out. He was sad, but I told him I was more than ready to stay on my own. The smile Sasha gave me as I left tempted me to punch it off her face, but I restrained myself. I pitied my dad because I was sure Sasha wasn't with him because she loved him. I couldn't do anything but watch from a distance because my dad was too emotionally dependent on her. I would visit my dad
Stupid
once
person.
in a while and preferred it when we went out, just the two of us. A few months went by. We were supposed to go to Fort, a classy restaurant downtown, and I looked forward to it. When I got inside, I saw my dad sitting at one of the back tables, his head in his hands. Dad, what's wrong? I asked as I sat down. That bitch, Sasha. She left me. She took your car, documents of one of the properties I transferred to her name. She sold off her shares at my company and ran off with the money. My dad closed his eyes, swallowed
Moderators
hard.
are on. Better stop
I
that.
wasn't surprised, but I felt angry. Angry at Sasha. Angry at my dad for being
No,
so
I'm not.
stupid in love to see Sasha for who she was. I was also angry at myself because I thought there was nothing I could have done to prevent this from happening. As I consoled my dad, I swore to myself that I would find Sasha. I would make her pay. I waited by my phone, hoping it would ring soon. I had contacted a private investigator to locate Sasha and bring me her details. I knew she couldn't have left without
Crazy
leaving
people.
any traces, even though it seemed that way. I sighed, thinking
Oh,
of
yeah?
my father.
Oh, yeah?
It had only been a month since she ran away with my dad's money, my car, and documents to one of his prime real estate. And now he
I'll
had
do what I
slipped
want.
into a deep depression. He really
Can't tell
loved
me what to
Sasha.
do.
He barely went to work anymore.
Well, you people
My phone
discovered.
rang, and I picked it up immediately. Hello?
I'll moderate all I
It
want.
was my boyfriend Nate, and he wanted to know if we were still going to hang out later in the evening. I told him I could not make it because I was still looking for Sasha. I had been seeing him less recently due to the problems Sasha caused. I had to be there for
Come
my
on.
dad. I
Stop
don't
moving.
get why you should be personally responsible. You've reported to the cops. Let them handle this. You're becoming so bitter, Nate said. I shook my head. He didn't understand. I could not just sit
People
around
can't do
and
this.
hope that someday the cops would find Sasha without doing anything. I told him that once I found her, everything would be over.
God.
He hung up on me in annoyance.
I'll
I
moderate
was
you.
frowning at my phone when another call came in. This time, it was the private investigator. You better have something good to tell me, I said, not bothering with pleasantries. It had been 2 weeks
How do you like
now,
that?
and he had not given me anything.
I can do what I want.
I was paying him
Can't
a
tell me
lot
what
of
to
money
do.
to get zero results. He told me he had found Sasha.
I can let you in here.
Apparently, she was staying in a hotel in Rio, where she and my dad went for their honeymoon.
This is terrible.
She was being careful not to buy anything with her name.
No, I'm
so it
not.
could not be traced back to her. I told him to send me the details of the hotel and her room number, and he promised to do so immediately. I smiled and thanked him before I hung up. I packed my things and booked a flight for Rio. Sasha would never know what was coming for her. I called Nate to tell him the good news. We had been dating for almost
Stupid
a year
people.
now, and we told each other everything. I smiled, sure that he was going to be happy for me when I told him I found Sasha. Had a change of heart? He asked. I told him everything the police investigator told me in full details. That's great. Have you told the cops? I sighed and explained to him that I was
No, you
going
don't
to
own
Rio
anything.
to apprehend Sasha myself. Nate sounded
No, you don't own the
disappointed
wheel.
and
Shut up,
said
you
that
crazy
the
fucking
incident had
people.
changed me into someone else. He said
God.
I was no longer the
Yes, I
person
will.
he fell in love with. When I tried to tell him my plan, he didn't want to listen and
It's
told
terrible.
me to never call him again. My heart was broke as I ended the call, and I told myself that once I was back from Rio,
I've been in here
I would
almost
go to
10
Nate
minutes.
and everything would be resolved.
This is terrible.
My flight to Rio
These
was
people will
spent
not.
with me perfecting my plan, so I was sure nothing would go wrong. I got to the
Haha,
hotel
I had
and went
moderator.
to the front desk.
Do what I want.
I have a delivery for Sasha Raymond. I showed the receptionist a phony ID and business card. and she
Shut up.
directed me to Sasha's
If you
room.
like, please subscribe. And thanks
Hold
for
my
watching.
face
Whoever
kept
watched out
low
there.
and knocked on the door
Continue to
before
watch more
yelling
videos.
that
This will
I
get
had
better.
package
There's
for
just
her.
people that are
She
harassing me
told
right
me
now
to
that are
come in,
crazy.
and I could hardly
They're
keep
trolls and
myself
they're
from
trolling me like
smiling.
insane.
I entered and
Anyway,
turned
thanks for
around
watching.
quickly to lock the door.
Bye now.
Sasha stood up, wondering what was going on. When I turned